So let's start. Masterchef, as I said, the topic of today's webinar. Masterchef is an ice steam 1927 machine. It is branded Hot Freezer. Hot Freezer is the brand that we use for our multifunctional and pastry machines. So every time that you see Hot Freezer on one of our machines, it means that it is, as I said, multifunctional machine. Masterchef is for sure the oldest pastry and multifunctional machine that we have, meaning that it was the first one being invented and being launched on the market. And because of that is for sure the one that has got a huge history and that is already spread all around the world. You can see Masterchefs working in the whole Europe, Asia, America, Africa, wherever you go, you can see some pastry shops and bakeries and hotels and caterings using a Masterchef. As I said, multifunctional technology. The reason of this word is very simple. With Masterchef, we can do a huge range of products, starting from the gelato production. The whole gelato production cycle can be done inside the Masterchef. Then we can move forward to the pastry production. We can make custard cream, the one we're going to do today. We can make glazes, marmalades, jams, gelée, sauces. We can do hundreds of different products with Masterchef, talking about pastry production. And we finish our list with all the gastronomical products. So it's going to be, for example, it could be useful for a restaurant to make some preparations. It could be perfect for a hotel kitchen, for a catering kitchen. So many different situations in which Masterchef can be used to produce many different products. As I said, I will make a list of the product that you can make. We will see the programs available. So we're going to have an overview on that machine. But for now, what has to be clear is that you can put a Masterchef in any kind of situation in which you need to produce some kind of food, and Masterchef can for sure help you. I will start from an overview on the components of this machine and how the machine is done and assembled. You see the machine here next to me. This is our Masterchef. I have also a closer camera, so later we will move forward to see the machine from very close. Let's start from its design. As you can see, it's a quite compact machine. It takes about 1 square meter of space, even actually a bit less. It is self-standing, so it is a machine that has got wheels. You can put it on the ground, you can move it around in your laboratory, and it is completely independent. It just needs, obviously, a power connection. It is a 3-phase machine, so you need the 3 phases plug, as we have here in our laboratory, and it is, in this case, water cooled. So we have the water connection. The machine has to be connected to some cold water, and then you will have also some hot water coming out of the machine after that the cycle of the water is over. So it goes in cold, it comes out hot, and then you have a third water connection that is the shower water connection. We have a shower here, always available to clean the machine. So we have also that connection that can be done with the machine. So this is how the machine looks, let's say, from outside, and how the machine has to be connected to work properly. Now we go closer and we have a look to the components of these machines. So the beater inside, the cylinder, and the door, and everything else. So I will move the camera. I will switch to the second camera. You should be able to see both of them. So let's move to the second camera to go closer and see some more details.
We have, first of all, a view on the buttons of our machine. Here you can see all of them. We will speak in detail about every single button to understand the function of every single button. But for now, we focus for a while on the top. Here we have two components that I still have to put to assemble. So I will show you how to do it. This is the front door that we go here at the front, in front of the extraction door to close the extraction door. But first of all, we focus on the top lid. This lid is a double lid. As you can see, we have the first lid that can be opened to add any component inside the cylinder during the production. The second lid is the big one that if we open it, the machine is completely open, we can say. So the cylinder, I have access to the cylinder much easily. Now, why we have a double lid? Very simple. If you have worked with a professional machine before, you know that when the machine is open, it stops automatically. So in this case, in some situations, we might have the need to add, as I was saying, some ingredients into the machine without stopping it. I'm thinking, for example, about making the pâte à choux. If I want to make the pâte à choux to make a puff pastry or stuff like that, I will need to add eggs into the mix while the machine is moving. So in this way, with the double lid, we have also this option. If we open the top lid, the machine won't stop, and we can keep adding ingredients during the process. This lid can be removed very quickly and easily. As you can see here, I can just remove this piece, metallic one, and the lid can be removed in order to clean the lid deeply, separately. So I can take the lid, put it in the sink, and clean it by hand. We suggest to clean this piece by hand because it is in plastic, even if it is a very resistant plastic, obviously. But anyway, when we have plastics, it's always better to clean them by hand to avoid ruining them with the high temperatures of the dishwashers. It is also possible to clean just the top part of the lid, or also remove the top lid, just removing this piece, same system, and we take out the top lid. So if we know that we prefer to work always with the lid open, we can also just leave the machine like this, and it will work no problem. So now I will put back the top lid. As you can see, everything is very simple. I'm doing everything with one hand, and it's super easy to do. Okay, we move inside the cylinder, and as you can see, also in this case, we have a very simple machine. There is just one piece here inside. That is our beater. So the beater is now perfectly assembled. I cannot take it out, okay? To take out the beater, I need to twist it a little bit like this and lift it up. So in this case, the beater is out of the machine. I can clean it again easily. In this case, also putting it in the dishwasher because it is completely stainless steel. We should remove, first of all, the white parts that are the scrapers. So the scraper, it's removed very easily like that. Very simple scraper, but also with high performances. Once the scraper is out, I can clean it deeply using a sponge or whatever I need to clean this piece perfectly. And then I can put it back here and push it inside in order to lock it. So as you saw, the way we take out the scraper and we put it back, it's super simple. Again, I was able to do everything with just one hand. So we can do the same with all the three scrapers, okay? Once that the whole piece is cleaned, we can put it back inside our cylinder. Inside the cylinder now, as you can see, it's completely empty. The only other piece that we have is the seal, the O-ring that protects the connection between the beater and this part at the bottom of the cylinder. So do not forget to put the seal at the end. And remember that all the plastic parts like these, so the rubbers, is always better to lube them as much as possible using the grease that is included in the machine. And there is a specific lube designed to stay sticky also at very high temperatures. So remember to use the original grease, put the grease on the seal, and then put back our beater. We just go inside like this. As you saw, it's super simple. Now the beater is inside, but it's not locked. If I lift it up, it comes out. So to lock it, we do exactly as we did before. We twist it a little bit. And as you can see, the system here, now it's locked. And if I lift it up, it's not moving. Okay, so very simple. Twist, and it comes out easily. Or put it back, twist again, and now it's locked. Okay, super, super, super simple. Perfect. So this was the top part of the gelato machine, as we were saying. Going at the bottom, we have the front door. So I will just show you how the front door is composed. As you can see, here we have the exit, and we just need to place the front door with this system that allows us to open it and close it. To put it back, we need, first of all, to remove this O-ring, this black one. The best way to remove it is just to push it from one side and take it out like that. So very, very simple system. And now we put this in its perfect location. So we place this in front like that. We put also the handler, and we go up. In this way, the handler goes up, and we are able to put back the O-ring, and everything is now ready to work. Now, as you probably noticed, here we have, I'll show you in detail, we have a particular system. We have a system that has, as you can see, a small metallic pin for safety reasons. What it means that if I open the door, if I want to open the door, first of all, the first thing that I need to do is to reach this signal on the handler, place it perfectly in the same spot in which I have the metallic pin, and just lift it up. As you can see, now the door is open, but it's open just a little bit. You see here, just a little bit. Why we have this system? Because in this way, we can play also with very hot products without risking to damage anything. So we open just a little bit. If we want to open completely, we need to twist a bit more, reach the second signal, and now we are able to lift up completely the door. So this system that I just showed you is specifically designed for safety reasons. So every time that we want to open or close the front door, we need to remember that the first level is where there is the first signal. Then I go down, I have the second signal. Now the door is really closed. Every time that I see this metallic part, it means that the door is really closed. And so I can close it completely. And now the machine is closed and ready to start. That's the only way that we have to close the machine completely. Again, I'll show you again. To open it, I just go with the handler perfectly at the center, lift it up a little bit, then lift a bit more, twist a bit more, and now I can open the door completely. Again, go down, twist, and go and close. So it looks a bit complicated, but actually it's super simple, and it is super safe. That's the most important thing, because we don't risk to burn ourselves if, for example, we are extracting a super hot marmalade or a very hot chocolate sauce or some gelato at 90 degrees, whatever it is. So it's for safety reasons, basically, and it is quite important. Okay, so before going in detail on the buttons of this machine that are obviously the most important part, I go back to the front camera
to show you what I'm gonna do, because in order to see the machine working, I prepared one very simple product, but actually the most common for sure in terms of production, that is a custard cream. So I wanted to show you how simple it is to make a production, for example, of a custard cream with Masterchef. The idea of Masterchef is to give you the possibility to create a product automatically without losing time, we can say, in controlling the product, mix the product, check the temperature, and all the processes that are important to be done if we want to make a product that is perfect and every day the same. We will discuss a bit more about this concept later, but first of all, just to give the chance to the machine to start working, I'll show you what I'm mixing and we start the production. So we see the machine working. Now here I have basically just 4 ingredients in front of me. I have some egg yolk, very simple. I have some milk here already in a jar, and I have my powders here, that is simply sugar and starch. In this case, it is rice starch. These are the basic elements of a custard cream. I'm sure that if you are familiar with pastry production, you know these ingredient better than anyone else. We're gonna mix them and we're gonna put all together them inside our Masterchef. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, as I said, is to, and I show you what I'm doing here, is to mix the egg yolk with the powders. Very, very simply and quickly. And then I will add just a little bit of milk to make this product a bit more liquid, and we put everything directly together inside the machine. So we don't need to wait, we don't need to mix, to warm up the milk first, then add the powder and the eggs. If you know how to make custard by hand on the fire, you know that there are some steps to follow. In this case, we can forget about the steps. We just mix everything together and start the production. So I just place everything in the same jar. As you saw, it took 30 seconds just to mix the ingredients. I'm doing everything by hand, but just to show you the most simple way. Usually what I'm doing is to use a blender. So I just put the powders and the egg yolk together and put everything here with a blender, mixing everything very quickly. So super, super simple and even faster. Now we go back with the camera here, and I just place everything, pour everything inside our Masterchef. So the front door is closed. We checked it before. The beaker is assembled. We just pour our liquid into the machine. I just have to be sure that all my powders and egg yolk goes into the machine. So now I just take a spatula and I clean perfectly my jar. Here we are. And now we are able to start the production. In this way, we have the possibility to have a look to all the functions of this machine and all the buttons directly from the machine itself and use the machine in a real situation as a custard production. So I just clean everything here. We have always to work clean, and I close the lid. Now we move to the front camera to see how to play with the buttons and how to use the programs. So in front of you, there is perfectly the screen and all the buttons. I will move the lights a little bit so you can appreciate a bit better also what is written on the screen. So let's start from the programs. As you can see, on the machine, we have a list of programs. What is the list of programs? Is the book, obviously. We call it the recipe book, okay? Now, if we go into the recipe book, we have all the programs. First of all, we put the machine in English. So we press go for a few seconds and we change the language. We have many different languages available. Here we have English and we select English. Perfect. We go back to the recipe book. Here we are, and here we have our programs. We start with custard cream, very simple product, but is the one that we need in this moment. To move into the menu, we use these two buttons, plus and minus. So if we press, in this case, minus, nothing will happen because it's the bottom of the list of our recipes. So we start pressing plus and we see all the other recipes. We have lemon cream, so it's a lemon curd, Bavarian cream, pata bomb, meringue, pasteurization of any kind of mix, muslin, that is kind of a custard cream with the addition of butter, buttercream, very famous for decorating the cakes, chocolate hardening, because we have the possibility also to temper the chocolate inside our machine. We have the tempered chocolate storage. So after tempering the chocolate, we can store the chocolate to maintain the temp. We have a ganache program to make all the chocolate ganache. We have ice cream pasteurization. This cycle is the one that we use if we want to make the full cycle of gelato production. So we make for sure the pasteurization, but we also make the batch freezing right after that. So it is the full cycle of gelato production. We have special ice cream pasteurization. That is the program for small quantities of gelato or special recipes, for example, sorbet or gastronomical gelato. Then we have ice cream if we don't need to pasteurize, but we just want to batch freeze, because maybe we have a mix that was already pasteurized or that it was that doesn't need pasteurization. We have special ice cream, same concept for mixes that have to be just batch frozen, but they are, for example, sorbet or small quantities of ice cream or a gastronomical gelato. We have bechamel to start seeing a program that, for example, is perfect for restaurants, caterings, and hotels, so a gastronomical product. We have the possibility to make inverted sugar. We can make fruit jellies for sure. That's the perfect machine to make fruit jellies. So to warm up a product made with fruits, water, and some jellifiers, so thickeners, and make a jelly. We can make a jam. We can make poche fruit. So the fruit, the semi-candied fruit, so we can say that stays, that rests in a syrup for a few hours in order to absorb the sugar. We can make the guimauve. Guimauve is the French version, the French name for marshmallows. So we can make marshmallow mix. We can make the macaron. The macaron is the program that we use to make the first step of the macaron, so the meringue. After that, we take out the
and we had the flour, the almond flour by hand. We can make slush, so Italian granita, easily inside the machine. And then we have these programs that, as you can see, are called personal program 1, 2, 3, and so on. I will speak about these programs in a very short time. For now, we go back to our custard cream program and we press go. We press go. The program starts. And here we have many informations available. The first information is what the machine is doing in this moment. As you can see on top, the machine is moving. So we are definitely working and we are definitely preparing our custard cream. And here the machine says, okay, how to understand what it's doing? First of all, we have a look to the lights that are switched on. Which lights are switched on? The first one is the recipe book. Why? Because we are making a recipe. So we are not working in a manual way. So just using the machine, for example, to warm up something. Later we see what I mean. We are using a program. So the book light is switched on, exactly like the go light. Then inside this program, the first step is to cook my custard cream. So here, the first step is to mix our custard cream. So here I have the mixing light switched on and the timer light. And if you can see here, we have set 2 minutes. It means that the machine is set to mix my product for a certain amount of time, 2 minutes. The mix is happening at a certain speed, speed 5. I don't know if you can read here. I go closer with the camera. Here on the left side of the screen in the corner, there is a number 5. That number is a speed. The speed goes from 0 to 7. So in this moment, we are mixing our custard at speed 5. And the 2 minutes are over. Perfect. As you heard, I'm sure, there was a signal that was telling us that the first step of production is over. So the machine ended the first step and went directly in production with the second step. So the concept of the machine is that if we are using a program, it doesn't matter if we are there, if we are doing something else, if we are checking the machine or whatever. The important is that the machine keeps going and the production is made automatically without need to stay there, check what is happening. So now we are doing the second step. And as you can see, we have other informations. We still have the lights here switched on because we are still in the program. We still have the mixing button working. The mixing button will work in 99% of the situations, but the speed, for example, changed. Here on the left, if you see, we have speed number 2, so different speed. And if we check, the machine is going slower than before. So the speed changed. The mixing phase now is done in a different way. And the other light that is switched on and it wasn't switched on before, sorry, I had a problem with the camera. So the only difference compared to before is that we don't have the clock switched on anymore. Okay, so here there is the light is switched off, but we have the flame. So this means that the machine is now cooking my custard cream. And if you noticed, the temperature here is increasing. So now the information that I have available on the screen are the speed of the beater, the set temperature of the heating cycle, and the temperature that we have in this moment in our product, 28 degrees. Here I can adjust the machine as I want. So it's true, as I said, that we have some programs that are helping us in preparing our products in the best way. But obviously, depending on the recipe that we are using, the product that we want to make, we can adjust these programs as we like. For example, in this moment, the machine is set to cook the pastry cream to 93 degrees. For me, and for the recipe that I'm using, and for the elements, the ingredients that I'm using, is way too much, 93 degrees. So what I'm gonna do now is to slow down, to decrease the set of the heating process. How I'm gonna do it? Using plus and minus. So the machine is cooking, the set is 93. If you see here, the lights are switched on, so I can work on these buttons, they are activated. And if I start playing with them, as you can see, the temperature changes, the set changes. And in this case, I will go down to 83 degrees. That's the temperature that I need in this specific case. So I adjust the temperature, and now the new set is 83. I can also adjust the speed. So as we were saying a few minutes ago, the machine is flexible. I can do whatever I want. I can change the settings in order to adjust the machine to the product that I need to make. So in this case, what we are gonna do is to speed up a little bit the beater. To do that, I need to press the speed regulator. This button, that is the first time that we speak about it, is the speed regulation. So if I press this button, nothing changes. The lights are still on, but if you see, if I start working on this button, instead of moving the temperature, it's not moving. What is moving is the speed from 6, 5, 4. So at the beginning, we were at speed 2. I will go to speed 4. So I doubled the speed in this case in order to mix my custard a bit faster, as you can see. 4 is too much. We can decrease it again. So we can go to 3. Whenever the speed is perfect for me, I can press the regulation and just stop regulating it. So now, as you can see, the temperature is increasing. We are already at 40 degrees. So we increased the 20 degrees in a few minutes, and the custard is getting ready. The process is, as I said, automatic. We can adjust it. We can regulate all the parameters as we like. Once that we regulate the parameters, they will be saved. So if now I select 83 as temperature at which I want to cook my custard, next time that I will do the custard program, the temperature will be again 83 because I saved it like that. So the machine can be adjusted and regulated depending on the person that is using it. Okay. So now I will move back to the front camera to say a few more things while we wait until the custard is getting ready and the steps keep going. So we will move to step 3 when we reach 83 degrees, and we will have a look to what happens moving to step 3.
So the machine is working. As you can see, I opened the lids a little bit because I want the cream to lose a bit of water during the cooking. The evaporation for sure is something important and something that will affect the final product. So I'm helping the machine to let the water, the vacuum, leaving the product, we can say. And as I was saying, the machine now is cooking my custard cream. The best part of this machine and what I'm showing you is, as I was saying, the fact that everything is done automatically. So now I'm speaking with you and taking care of the webinar. I don't need to focus on what is happening there. The beautiful effect of using an automatic machine to make a certain kind of product is that I remove completely any kind of risk. when we make, for example, a custard cream on the fire, the risk to burn it, because I have to answer the phone, I have to text someone, I need to write an email, I need to take care of something that is happening in the laboratory, take care of a customer. It's very high, the risk, because it's very easy to make a mistake. It's very easy to forget about something. It's very easy to skip one step. In this case, everything is automatically done and automatically controlled. So even just the fact that the machine keeps the temperature and checks the temperature every second, it helps us to do not make mistakes. In most of the pastry products, but also gelato and gastronomical products, the temperature is the most important thing. If I cook my custard, if I cook my gelée, if I cook my bechamel at the right temperature, and every time that I do that product, the temperature is always the same, then the product is going to be perfect and always perfect. That's the most important thing for us. We want to have perfection. We are looking for perfection. And the reason why we should think about investing in a machine like that is that it gives us the perfection that we need. It gives us the possibility to control perfectly every single step of the production cycle, and at the end have a perfect product. That's the main thing. Now the temperature is already at 56 degrees, so we are already, let's say, for less than 30 degrees from the final target. We just need to wait. In the meanwhile, I wanted to say a few more things about the machine. First of all, as we said before, we can use the machine in 3 different ways. We can use it in manual way, with the programs, or with the personalized programs. Now, the manual way is very simple. It means using the machine to do one specific function. Let's make an example. I want to warm up some milk because I need that milk to make something else. Instead of putting the milk on the fire, so in a pan or in a pot on an induction or on the fire, and then again risk to forget about it and then let the milk boil, and you all know what happens when the milk boils. We can just use the machine, pour the milk inside, set the temperature that we want to reach, I don't know, 65 degrees, and the machine will do everything automatically and manually. Automatically and manually set. So I just, in that case, for example, press the flame, so one single function, and I tell to the machine, reach 65 degrees. That's it. That is what it's going to do. The same, for example, could happen in the opposite way. For example, if I need to cool down something. Let's say that you warmed up some custard cream to make some specific production, and then you want to cool it down to stock it, okay? You can use the machine also just to cool down a product, or we can maybe in some cases we need to whip something. If we need to whip something, we can put the product inside, switch just to the beater, put the top speed, so speed number 7, and the machine will start whipping my product. So that's the manual solution. I can do obviously even more than one thing. So for example, I can cook something up to a certain temperature, then cool it down to something else. So we can make more than one step, but every step can be managed manually, just playing on the buttons that we have available. The second option is the one that we're using now. So we use a program, a recipe. We go into the recipe book, as we said before, and as we saw before, we select the product that we want to make, or at least the program that we want to use, and then we just press go. And the machine will do the whole cycle independently. It keeps going without stopping, and the whole process is going to be done without my help, okay? That's for sure the best way to use a machine like that, because it allows you to forget about that product, make the full cycle, and just have a final product that is perfect. As we said, also in this case, even if it is a preset program, we can adjust it. We can change the temperatures, we can change the speeds, we can change the timers. So we can work as we like, depending on the specific product that we are making. As I was saying a few seconds ago, if, for example, you want to use the program for custard cream to do something else, because maybe it's not a custard cream, but the process is the same, you can do it, obviously. Okay, so the program custard cream, it is called custard cream because the way it is designed, for sure, it is the most common to make a very common product as custard cream. But if I want to use the same program to do something else, I'm obviously free to do whatever I want. The machine cannot understand what I'm putting inside. Okay, she just make the program. We can put whatever we want inside the cylinder. The third option to use the machine, as I was saying, is the personalized program. So I can also create my own program. If I'm doing a specific recipe, maybe at the beginning, and there is a particular recipe, maybe at the beginning I will use the machine in manual mode every time, for example, selecting I want to cook this product to 65 degrees, then I want to cool it down to 50, then I want to whip it, then I want to cool it down again. I don't know. So we have different steps, and we can do them manually just to test them and to see if the product that is coming out is the perfect one, the one we are looking for. Once that we find the perfect program, then we can save it and we can create a recipe, a personalized recipe, a personalized program, in which we make all the steps that we need, all the steps that we want, automatically again. So to do that, we will need to use the rec button, the one maybe you saw before. Now I will show it to you more deeply, and I will show you how to create the recipe. But for sure, we have also that possibility. So we say, okay, I want to make a specific process. I want to follow some steps that are my steps. Let's just create a recipe. To do that, we can do it. So we can customize the recipe book, adding maximum 9. That's the maximum amount of personalized recipes that we have. Maximum 9 free recipes that I can create by myself. Okay, so before having a look to that, to see the machine, how to personalize the machine, we just need to finish the production of our custard. So I will go back to the details camera to show you at which point we are. We are almost at the end of our cooking process. So it's going really fast, the machine. Consider that what I'm doing is 4.5 kilos of custard cream. So I put 3 liters of milk. I put almost 550 grams of egg yolk. I put 900 grams of sugar and almost 280 grams of starch. So it is more than 4.5 kilos actually. And the production speed, as you see, the time that the machine needs to complete the process is very short. So let's go to the other camera to see at which point we are. In front of the screen, as you can see here, we are almost at the end. The machine is at 83 degrees, the sets, but we are with the product at 81. So we just missed 2 degrees to reach the final temperature that we need. If we check the product inside, we can see that is getting thicker and the consistency is improving second after second. At the end of the production, I usually prefer, you heard the sound, so the step is completed. We are now maintaining the mix for 1 minute, just mixing it. And now what I will do is to speed up the beater to speed 6, because at this point, it is the perfect moment to emulsify my custard cream. So I am speeding up the machine in order to emulsify my mix, my custard, and have a super fine final result. The temperature, as you can see, it is increasing a bit, but it's completely normal. The walls are still hot. Now, when this phase is over, you will see that it will change again the step. There will be another sound that tells me it is the sound.
So the machine is telling me I'm moving to the next step. Which is the next step? As you can see, the lights, they changed again. Now the flame is not switched on anymore. We still have, obviously, the mixing button. We have the clock. So we are mixing for a certain amount of time. In this case, 3 minutes. As you can see, the set is 3 minutes. But in addition, we are also cooling. So this button is the cooling button. So the machine is cooling down our custard cream. Here you have the temperature in this moment. TEV stands for temperature in the cylinder. So this is the temperature we have in our product. And you will see that in 2 minutes, the temperature will drop quite a lot. I just decreased 1 point the speed to start being a bit more delicate with our custard cream. And now in 1 minute and 50 seconds, you will see we will move to the last step of our custard production. That is going to be the last cooling phase. So from 83 degrees that we set, we are already at 63. As you can see, in a few minutes, the production is done. So the step is done, and the production takes very few minutes. If you think about it, we are doing almost 5 kilos of custard cream in something like 25 minutes, and everything is automatic. So we are not losing time actually, because in the meanwhile, we are doing something else. Now, to complete the overview on the buttons, so when the cream is ready, we can take it out and then have a quick view on the personalized recipes. Just to close the webinar, we have 10 minutes left. Here we have, so the stop is for stopping the machine, obviously. We saw the plus and minus are the buttons that we're going to use to regulate all the parameters of the machine. We saw that this button is for mixing, this is for eating, this is a timer, this is the regulation of the speed, this is the cooling phase. We just miss these three buttons. This is the start of the recipe. This is the shower. So whenever we need to activate the shower that I was showing you before, we can just press the shower, and now there is water connected, so there is pressure, and I can use the shower whenever I want, pressing this part. Now I just deactivate it. This button is the extraction button. In the meanwhile, we moved to the last step. So the custard, as you saw, it is already at 44 degrees, and now we try to reach 5 to cool down completely the final product. So the shower is always available. Now we can notice something interesting. The mixing button is blinking. What does it mean when it is blinking? It means that it's not a constant mixing, but it is on and off. So for a few seconds, the machine doesn't move. For a few other seconds, the machine moves. So this is the reason why the machine is blinking. We wait a few more seconds. When the cream is reaching about 30 degrees, we take it out. Obviously, we could reach also 5 degrees, but in this case, I just want to show you how the cream is perfectly done, and so room temperature is more than enough. So about 30 degrees is perfect to do what we need to do. In the meanwhile, as I was saying, we are having a look to the record button. So the rec button is the one that allows us to record a recipe. Whatever recipe we need, selecting as many steps as we want, as many processes as we want. Now I take up the custard and I show you how to record a recipe from scratch. To take out the custard, I just want to show you what we have here in terms of components. We have the shelf. The shelf has got 2 levels possible. Now it is set at the lower level, but we can also put it at the upper level. As you can see here, there is the way to put it higher. We can also close the shelf when we don't need it. So in this way, the machine doesn't take too much space when we are not using it. So we put it back like this. Here we also have this piece of the machine that helps the custard to go into the container. We can take this off also if we need to clean it. So we unscrew here and there, and we just can take this piece off to clean it independently in the dishwasher. It is stainless steel, so it's very simple to clean it. Let's put this back, we lock it, and then we are ready to extract our custard. I will take a container. And we are ready to take up the custard. So the custard, as I told you, is at 30 degrees. So we can take it out. It is room temperature. And in this situation is more than enough. So I can use this button, the extraction button. If I press it, the speed increases. And the custard comes out. This is the custard. Super smooth, super shiny. And very, very well done. We speed up a bit more the beater, so everything comes out completely. When the cylinder is empty, we just stop it, and we have our custard here, perfectly done automatically and following the best process. Inside, there is nothing left. As you can see, just a bit of custard that we can remove manually. So the production is over. I just clean a little bit more the door here in front. You see that the custard being at 30 degrees, so room temperature, it is already quite stable. You see that it stays on the spatula without being too liquid. So the custard in this case is perfect. If we had to use it to make, for example, to fill some croissant, it is already perfect. You see the texture. I hope from the video you can appreciate how soft, shiny, and smooth it is. Okay, so just to have a quick look to the last thing that we need to see, that is how to create a personalized recipe. I just go here in front to the screen. To create a recipe, I just press the rec button. The machine shows me the first free program available, in this case, program number 10. And now I can do whatever I want. So let's make an example. For example, I want to mix my recipe while I'm eating it up. So let's heat up our recipe to temperature. We can select the temperature. For example, I don't know, 80 degrees, okay? So I set to the machine to cook my mix to 80 degrees. Now I'm ready for the step number 2. How to go to the step number 2? Here it says P1, it's step number 1. Step number 2, we press rec. Okay, after heating up my mix, what can I do? I can, for example, mix my mix for a certain amount of time. So I can set the clock. These are minutes. So I can go down, for example, to 20 minutes, just to make a random example, mixing for with a certain speed. So again, we can set the speed pressing the speed regulation. So speed regulation, and as you can see, the speed number goes up and down. So step 2, we are mixing at speed 3 for 20 minutes. Then we want to go to the step number 3. We press rec again. Step number 3, what can I do? For example, I can cool down my product. At which temperature? 4 degrees. At which speed? Speed number 1 is too slow. We can increase it. Do we want to make the blinking speed, so let's say the speed that sometimes is on and sometimes is off? We press the mixing the second time. We can go also faster, you see, faster blinking. So we can decide which is the way that we want to use to mix our product. Well, our product is cold. What do we want to do? We can, for example, warm it up again if we need. So step number 4, let's say that we need to warm it up again. We press the flame and we select another temperature. Once that we select the temperature and the speed, we can, for example, close the program. So let's say that we warmed up something, we cool it down, and then we warmed it up again. And now we want to just finish the recipe. How to finish and save the recipe? We press rec and we leave one space empty, one step empty. So step number 5, we leave it empty. Now the program is saved. If I go in the recipe book, here we are. We have the program number 10. How to check what is a program doing? We press inside the recipe book, we press rec. So rec, and the machine will tell us, okay, step number 1, what is it doing? Cooking my mix to 80 degrees. Step number 2, mixing for 20 minutes. Step number 3, cooling down to 4 degrees at speed number 3. Step number 4, warm up to 85 degrees. So this is exactly the program that we designed a few seconds ago. And then step number 5 is empty. So this is exactly the program that we just created. The same process of checking a recipe can be done with the preset recipes. So if we go to the custard cream that we just used, custard, if I want to know what the program is going to do, I just press rec and I see the steps. So step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and everything else.
I'm back on the frontal camera. We are we've just reached the 1 hour and 00 minutes of webinar. So we are at the end of the webinar. I think I told you everything that I wanted to say about this machine. I hope it was clear the reason why we should use a machine like that to optimize the production and standardize the production. I also hope it was clear all the explanation about the pieces, the assembling, and all the phases of the production. To clean the machine, obviously, we just fill the cylinder with some water and mix it a bit. Potentially, we can also warm up the water a bit just to help the cleaning process. Then we just remove the pieces as we saw at the beginning of the webinar, clean them, put them back, and use the machine again for another production. So it's a very, very simple cleaning process. Perfect. I hope there are no questions on the chat. So I think everything is, I hope everything is clear. And I guess you have no doubts. So thanks a million to all the people connected for staying here and for spending 1 hour with us. As I said, follow us for the next webinars that we have in program. And thanks again. See you very soon online. Bye bye from Gelateneo, Bologna. Ciao.